You're watching ABC4 News on Utah's CW30.
The Utah Film Festival is growing by holding monthly events the first Saturday of every month. And this Saturday, the festival is screening 6 films, 4 of them being world premieres. Warren Workman is the creator of the Utah Film Festival, and he's joining us today to talk a little bit about it. Warren, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Tell us how this all got started.
Well, we've been doing this now for about 12 years. A couple of people came up to us and said, you know what, the Oscars are having their fun times out there, but we don't really have something like that here in Utah. Can we make something? So we kind of got together as a community and said, yeah, we can. It'll be pretty awesome.
Yeah, we'll have our own Oscars. And
That's right.
And it's monthly now, too, which I love.
Yeah, so one of the great things that, like COVID has kind of forced us to try was trying new things with the film festival. And now we're saying, instead of having a once-a-year event and throwing all of our eggs in one basket, what if we had events every month? And filmmakers are responding great to it. We're getting more submissions than ever and more world premieres than ever because of that.
That is so exciting. And tell us a little bit on what we have going on this Saturday specifically.
We got a lot of new ones. We have one that just barely finished called Is It Clean? It's a short film by some local production, by a local company here. It's kind of like a little sci-fi horror film that's going to happen there. We have another one called Porter Rockwell, Gunman and Saint. So if you've heard of Porter Rockwell, he's kind of an extreme historical figure, but it's kind of a proof of concept short film, and it's fantastic. It was shot again locally. I'd say most, if not all, of the films that are showing at the festival are all local.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Just an amazing amount of talent that's been farmed out here in Utah. It's just amazing.
I think a lot of people are surprised to hear that, if they're not involved in the industry, just how many films are being made here.
Oh, I mean, there's a new film being made almost every single week here. Hallmark knows that this is the place to come make their movies, and so they make all their Christmas movies here. But now locals are really grasping onto that idea, and they're making short films, television series, music videos, YouTube videos, feature films, you name it. We are Hollywood's back lot, and so everybody likes to come to Utah to make their movies.
You know, I'm glad that you brought up Hallmark, because I've heard that so many times, and I've been wondering why, and I feel like you're the perfect person to ask about that. Why do they come here?
We have some beautiful towns. A big one down in, well, Pleasant Grove is a great place, but if you go anywhere south in Utah County, all those places are kind of like encapsulated in time. They're that small town Americana. And Utah is really good at keeping our history there on the front center main streets, and Hallmark's decided, you know what, that should be our Anytown USA, and that's why they keep coming here. Spanish Fork and Payson are some of the highlight areas for Hallmark, and so you wouldn't be surprised to see them down Main Street every single year, usually in the summer for a Christmas movie.
Of course it is, of course. Heaven forbid they have to deal with our snow.
Oh yeah, it's fun watching the extras having these giant snow jackets on when it's 100 degrees outside. You're like, whoop, 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 whoop.
Can you imagine? So I did want to ask about the actors too. I can imagine there's a fair amount of actors here in Utah that are working.
There are a lot of actors here working in Utah, and a lot of them are wondering, how do they get that next role, right? They're not wanting to just do the background extra roles. They want to be speaking. They want to have those lead spots. Now, to do that, you need to pass the gatekeepers. They're called the casting directors. Well, they're going to be at the Utah Film Festival, and they're going to be talking about how to get that FaceTime for that big audition for that main lead role. And we've got some huge casting directors coming, including people that have casted for Glee, Supernatural, The Boys, Grey's Anatomy, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. The list goes on. These guys have casted some of the biggest shows in broadcast history. They're going to be a part of the festival this Saturday.
That sounds like so much fun, and I'm sure a lot of actors are going to be taking notes during that panel.
Oh, yes. Wendy.
Wendy, full disclosure, we do have a producer here, Wendy, who also is an actress, and let us know about this.
She's amazing, and
fabulous.
Hopefully she can be there.
Wonderful. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. Before we go, where can people get more information?
You can find all the information about the Utah Film Festival at utahfilmfestival.com.
All right, fantastic. All right, let's take a